Okay, guys, let's talk about the word can. I can, you can, so forth and so on. You already have learned it in the song. Puedo. There's another form, puedes. You heard this one, puede. There's also podemos and pueden. They're all variations of puedo and puede. It's just we are going to change the endings just a little bit so that we know who can. The endings in Spanish, and I have them highlighted in pink, o, es, e, hemos, en. They tell you who is doing an action. The action in this case is can. I can do something. And so when we change that ending, it changes the person. So let's recall where everyone lives. Remember those pronouns, those subject pronouns. Yo puedo. Yo puedo. So I can either use yo or I can leave it out. That's why it's in parentheses. In order to say I can say puedo or I can say yo puedo if I want to emphasize it. Tú lives here. So tú puedes can only mean you can. When you're talking to someone you're familiar with, your friend, tú puedes, you can. Remember who lives in the bottom left. Usted, él, and ella. So if I want to say he can, I can simply say puede. If I want to say she can, I can simply say puede. But if I want to specify, if maybe it's not clear who I'm talking about, then I want to use those subject pronouns. Because when I say él puede, it only means he can. When I put that person in front of it, it can only mean él puede can only mean he can. Usted puede. Remember what usted means? You, formal. So you could say usted puede, you can. Ella puede. Now puede, ella puede can only mean she can. So sometimes you want to use those subject pronouns to make it clear who puede is talking about. All right, let's move to the top right. Can't find my mouse, or I'd point up there. Top right, podemos. Podemos. This can only mean, who lives up there? Think of who lives up there. We. So it can only mean we can. So I can simply say podemos. We can. If I want to emphasize that, I could put those pronouns in front of it. Nosotros podemos. Nosotras podemos. Okay, they are not necessary, but they can emphasize it if you want to. Down at the bottom right, remember who lives there. Think about it. You got it? Ustedes, ellos, ellas. They all live in this box. So that means the word pueden can mean you all can, they can. Maybe it's referring to a group of guys, a group of girls. So it can mean two different things. You all can or they can. If I want to specify that it means you can, then I simply put a pronoun in front of it. Ustedes pueden. If I want to specify that it means they can, then I'm going to put either ellos or ellas in front of it. So you could say ustedes pueden, or ellos pueden, or ellas pueden. So going back to the top left, let's go over these one more time. Puedo, puedes, puede, podemos, pueden. Remember that D kind of makes a TH sound. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Puedo. What comes next? Puedes. Puede. Top right. Go to the top right. We live there. Podemos. Bottom right. Pueden. That's just kind of the normal pattern of if you were learning this chart. Puedo, puedes, puede, podemos, pueden. You don't have to go in that order as long as you know where everyone lives. Okay? I like to think, I already know the word puedo from the song, and I know the word puede from the song. So if I move up one, I add an S. If I move over to the right, I add an N. If I go up top right, I add a mos. So add an S, add an N, add a mos, and you have the other forms of puedo and puede. Yo puedo. Who goes with puedes? Tú puedes. What are my three options? What three people can go with puede? Usted, él, ella. Who can go with podemos? Nosotros, nosotras. And down at the bottom right, what pronouns can I use with pueden? Ustedes, ellos, ellas. Yo. See what ending goes with this. Can you remember what pink ending goes with yo? Yo puedo. Tú puedes. What ending goes with tú? Puedes. So I cannot take the word puedo and put the pronoun tú with it. It doesn't work. Tú has to go with the es, es. Yo has to go with the o. Yo puedo, tú puedes. Usted, él, or ella. What ending? Puede. I'm going to go to the top right. Nosotros or nosotras. Po. What ending are you going to put? Podemos. Nosotros podemos. Down at the bottom right, usted becomes ustedes, él becomes ellos, ella, ellas, and what ending goes with ellos and ustedes? Pueden. Okay? Almost all actions, if you're talking about what they can do or you all can do, they're going to end in N. So one more time. Yo puedo. Tú puedes. Usted, él, ella puede. Nosotros, nosotras podemos. Ustedes, ellos, ellas pueden. You should practice this enough that you can do that by yourself. Okay? If you need to mute my voice, do that and practice that a couple times. All right, use your chart, your written chart, so that you can practice or try it without. They can. If I were doing this, I would think, how do I say they? Ellos pueden. Remember, ellos is optional. You can put parentheses around those. You don't have to use them. I like for you in the beginning to use them so you can associate ellos with the en ending. Okay? She can. Think about it. She is ella puede. All I did was drop that in. From ellos, I dropped the in. We can. Think about we. Nosotros. Podemos. I like that one. It's easy to recognize. When you see mos, M-O-S, I think, first of all, it rhymes with nosotros. M-O-S, most, like most of us, we can. Most of us, we run. Most of us, we do things. M-O-S, as in most of us. That's always going to represent we. You, informal can. First thing here is to think, which you am I going to use? Your two options are tú or usted. Okay, you have it chosen. And you want to say can. Tú puedes. I can. Comes from the song. Yo puedo. You can simply say puedo. You don't have to say yo. You can simply say puedo. You formal can. So here's your two choices again. Tú or usted. And then you put the correct form of can. Usted puede. Usted puede. He can. He is. Él puede. And in the song, we just used puede. We talked about Carlos. Puede. If you're talking about somebody, you can say puede. He can, she can. We wanted to say specifically he can, so we said él puede. You all can. First thing, think about how you say you all. Well, if you is usted, we're going to make it plural. Ustedes. Ustedes. You all can. Ustedes pueden. They can. You have two options for they. What are they? Ellos and ellas. It doesn't specify if it's all girls or it doesn't matter. They can. Ellos or ellas pueden. You do have to use the en for ellos or ellas.